Hi, my wonderful women. Welcome. I need everyone to snap out of the fairy tale. Snap out of the fairy tale because all they know is challenge. They see a challenge and they see something that they want to conquer and control when they see a woman. And yes, I'm talking about a woman that they like, so to speak. They just see a challenge that they want to conquer and control. And typically, once they have conquered, once they have obtained her, things fizzle out. Their interest is not as strong anymore. But society and all the programming and everything has pushed this man and woman unit, this relationship and this fairy tale, this fantasy. And so the two of them get together, but then it turns into something miserable. Or even if it's not downright miserable, it's just not it. And in most of the cases, he's cheating or his eyes are wandering because all they know is challenge. Challenge, conquer, control. They are jealous, they are competitive, and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, the whole time, the woman is thinking, oh my goodness, the love of my life. We are the love of each other's lives. And the whole time, they may actually be saying things to you like that. Some of them don't. Some of them are just downright They don't even do all the theatrics. But then you have the ones that the whole time they're saying things to you like you are the love of their life and that you are everything to them and that they love you so much. They love you more than they've ever loved anyone ever. And they look at you like they're seeing the sun for the first time in 10 years. Yes, they do these things. That's why all those comments and when you see people saying things like, when they see a man looking at a woman in a certain way and they go, oh, look at the way he looks at her. Look at the way he looks at her. And look at what he said and look at what he did for her and the gift he got her. They got a whole lot of waking up to do because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as far as they're concerned. They can do all that and then later that night go into bed with another woman. Now, when I say it doesn't matter, it does matter in the sense that if you are going to associate with a male, if you are going to share your energy with a male, absolutely make sure that he is treating you well. Make sure that he is doing all of that. He's saying sweet things to you. He's treating you with respect. He's getting you gifts and flowers, and he's looking at you like he actually likes you, not like he has contempt for you when he looks at you. Because there's a lot of those out there, and it's really sad to see the women in those situations that are just all smiley and trying to get his attention and contorting themselves this way and that way, and he's just this cold POS with just contempt in his eyes. So make sure he treats you and he looks at you like he's seeing the sun for the first time in 10 years and all that good stuff. Instead of him looking at you like he wants to slap you in the face. Of course, make sure that things like that are in place. But when I say it doesn't matter, I mean in terms of many of them will do all that stuff and they don't see the relationship and the connection with you the way that you see it. And they don't see you like you're the ultimate love of their life and they only have eyes for you and all that kind of stuff. They don't at all see it that way. So do not mistake those things for him actually truly loving you. Do not mistake all of that for loyalty and faithfulness because he can do all of that and not actually truly deeply love you. He can do all of that and not be faithful. So cut it out. Snap out of it. Oh, do you see the way that he looks at her? I want a man to look at me like this and, fill in the blank with the photo that you can imagine. And I want him to look at me like this. He can look at you like that. And then, like I said, go share a bed with another woman 2 hours later. There's been a plethora of cases like that in the world. If you only listen to women and the stories that they have to tell. So get out of the fairy tale mode in your head. And of course, it's not to blame women for this, it's the programming. You've been programmed with that fairy tale. You've been programmed with the stories and the movies and all that BS. And it's in a woman's nature to love. A woman knows how to love. And it's women's nature to be loved. Women are meant to be loved and supported and cared for. If only this was not a shit show world that we live in, where males are these deformed parasitic creatures, and if only males actually did what they're meant to do, which is to show up for women, to serve women, to stand in integrity and stand by a woman's side properly, because women are meant to receive that love, that servitude, that support. And by the way, women are meant to mainly receive that from sisterhood and community, not from males. But of course, anything coming from males should be that as well. But it's not. In this world, it's not, and it hasn't been for thousands and thousands of years. They have no respect for women, let alone loving her properly and showing up for her and supporting her and all of that. So women are this way because of that programming of the fairy tale and all of that, and also because, yes, it is also a woman's nature to love and be loved and cherished and adored. So it's as though we are craving this thing from them that naturally should be there, but with the way that they are and the way that they've been and how the toxic patriarchy is, all it has served us is the complete opposite. Women need to wake up and look at the reality of the situation. This is not a fairy tale, and most males are not capable of love. Wake up to the fact that most males are opportunistic, they are self-serving, they are treacherous, they are betraying parasites. And for all the people that are like, oh, but my grandpa was this way and my father was this way and in my whole family, the men are great. First of all, I am certain that in a lot of those cases, if I were to show up and assess the situation, I would disagree with you that the men are great. It's because you're still blind and you need to wake up. And you're not seeing all the ways, even if they were more passive and subtle and not in your face, but more passive and subtle and subliminal, how they were abusive, how they were emotionally detached, selfish, and so on. Just because they had some good parts to them doesn't mean that they are the caliber of men that we are talking about on this channel, the type of caliber of men that I talk about that are actually good men. Now, that's probably going to be the case in a lot of those cases where you're saying, my grandpa was this way, my father was this way, and I come in and assess the situation and I'm just thinking to myself, are you freaking kidding me? However, I'm not saying that it's absolutely, out of the bajillion males on this earth, that it's absolutely non-existent and that there's no such a thing that there are some good ones. Yes, there are. Sure, there are some good ones, some actual good ones. And so maybe in some of your cases where you're saying, my grandpa was this way, my father is this way, my brother is this way, I'm sure in some of those cases, I mean, I would bet that it's not the majority of those cases, but some of those cases, they were actually good ones. So yes, it exists. But I don't want women to live their life as if the existence of the good ones, the mature ones, the intelligent ones, the ones that have integrity, as if that is anywhere near being common, because it's not. I want women to live their lives centering themselves, protecting their hearts, protecting their interests, and if they get with a male, and he's great and he's doing all the great things, to still understand that you are dealing with a male. And they have a strong tendency to switch up. Even if they're okay right now and they're great for the next 10 years, maybe in 15 years, they'll betray. You just never know with them. That's just how they operate. And if you do happen to end up with one that is legitimately good, great. That's awesome. That's what we want. That's what we want to see. But you're not going to be going and falling head over heels when someone shows up and they're saying the right things and they're even doing the right things. No, you need to keep your wits about you. And if you're one of those that thinks, oh, but that's so sad, that's the whole point of life and loving, is to be able to just trust and take that risk and just love and blah, 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 blah. Perhaps I would agree with that if things were a little bit more balanced in this world. But it has been a shit show in terms of who they are and how they operate, and a big majority of them in some way, shape, or form, they are parasitic. So no, it's not. That's the whole point. You just have to trust. You just have to let go. Otherwise, are you really even fully living and enjoying life and blah, 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 blah. And then 9 times out of 10, she's left heartbroken to pick up the pieces and her time and her energy wasted and drained. So you have to choose. Do you want to go around and be all, but that's the whole point of life, blah, 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 blah. You have to blah, 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 blah. And then you're just being sucked on by a parasite time and time again, wasting your energy, wasting your time. Don't even get me started on the women out there that will even tell you, oh, I didn't have a terrible relationship like that. I didn't have my relationships, like it wasn't abusive in my relationships. Yet if I were to go in and assess the situation and look at what the relationship was like, I would probably be like, are you freaking kidding me? Because even if it wasn't abusive in a very clear way, or it wasn't super toxic, perhaps it was a bit more chill, I would probably still find that the way that that male in the relationship operated is something I personally, and other women out there like me, would never ever settle for. It's something that a woman that knows her worth and knows who she is and knows what she wants and is in her goddess energy, is in empress mode, would never go near a guy like that. Some women will even say that they're the ones that broke it off and my relationships were fine and I was even the one that broke it off. Okay. And then when you dissect why did she end it, don't even get me started. So there are many situations out there where women think that they were in a good relationship, but when you peel back the layers, it's like, are you for real? You call this a good relationship? You call the way that he was, that's what you deserved and that's what you're worthy of and nothing more? Are you for real? So when a woman says things like that, I don't automatically grip it as truth, because so many women in this world still need to heal. So many women in this world still need to wake up. And so many women in this world need to raise their standards and expect more. Wake up. And it's okay to be alone. You don't have to be in a relationship with a male. It's another part of the programming and the conditioning to crave and yearn to be in a relationship, which I'm not saying it's only programming, because it is a natural human instinct, obviously, to want to mate and to want partnership, but there is a heavy dose of programming involved. So I started out this message by saying that all they know and all they see is a challenge, something they want to conquer and control. And especially if you are a woman who is confident, who's independent, who has things going for her, then that adds to the situation, to that challenge, the desire to conquer and dominate, because they want to conquer a woman like that. They want to drag down a woman like that. They want to try to humble a woman like that. That sounds crappy, doesn't it? It's like this evil little agenda, because that's what they are. They are toxic parasites. If you cut out the fairy tale bullshit and you get real about it, you will see that they operate like evil parasites. Period. Controlling, dominating parasites. Not every woman is ready yet to hear this, let alone accept it. But the women that have always seen through things can understand this. And those that have been through disappointments and abuse and betrayal time and time again, or have seen people in their life and just in general in life, maybe even online, reading accounts after accounts and stories after stories of women that have been through the ringer with these parasites, they get it. And more women are starting to get it. And more women are starting to wake up. Thank you for tuning in. May women continue to rise, and may the matriarchy rise.